Greetings, fellow explorers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Farthest Frontier 1.0. Episode 5, Searching for Herbs. It looks like after this crop field cycle, the third field will basically be weed-free, which is good. And what we really need is more laborers. And now that we have a somewhat more stable source of food, I can expand housing a bunch to be able to ramp up, ramp up clay, ramp up farming, ramp up everything else. It took a season or two to make sure that the farm fields were going to actually be productive. So here's the end of the clover, and that will raise fertility up. It doesn't feed you, but it helps to replenish the fields. There we go. And weed level's now going to go down. And because I've staggered the growing so that this farm field yields peas in the spring and this farm field yields leeks in the winter, despite the fact that the food spoils quickly, they're constantly replenishing what is spoiled. Oh, there we go. So this is what got salvaged from that site. Heavy tools, iron ore, pottery, wood planks, linen clothing, gold, weapons, gold ore, baskets, firewood, hide coats, and a tome of knowledge, which immediately gives you a research point. So with that generated research point, we are going to do tier 2 disease resistance, working towards grain crops. Now, the items themselves need to be hauled. They just sit here, which is annoying because you can't really tell people to like go and grab it. But that's like a laborer job. But as you can see, a lot of our laborers are grabbing clothes. Or actually, these aren't even laborers. These are just people that that don't have clothing on are grabbing the linen clothing from that salvage site. But yeah, that's what I mean. The salvage sites can really help a early game when you're on the struggle bus. Now, speaking of which, Ceteris, I want you to go look for herbs. That's something that we are kind of desperate for. So I'm going to have him poke around for herb. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a laborer rather than Ceteris. So where'd Ceteris go? Ceteris, ignore that. And I'm going to find a laborer. You were gathering ore. Okay, it's going to be...
Yes.
You are a laborer. Perfect. Okay, there's wild boar. So I'm going to need both my hunters to clear that out. Well, that was a short-lived excursion. Hunters, rally. And here's all the leeks that we're grabbing from this year's harvest. And once they're delivered to the root cellar, you will see the food stores pop back up pretty high again. All right, where? There's my hunters. It's easy to lose track of them. Oh boy, I shot the one that was not closest. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Looking good so far. There should be one more. I thought I saw one more. There's a high priority fish site here. And because it's a bit of like a cove, it's going to be really high yield too. But it's pretty far away from my pop center. So it's certainly not convenient to get to. Interesting that this has like an isthmus. Lots of clay. And yeah, this is a proper island. Okay. If I had a fish site here, like, boy, that'd be a lot of fish, but it's just not close enough to my pop center to help me. So instead of going around the shoreline, I think what I'm going to do is keep exploring around to see if I can find forage sites for herbs. Because we are in a bit desperate need for herbs if we want to start making soap. Lemon, thank you for the resub. Oh yeah, there we go. Food stores 15 months. That was from the leek harvest, for certain. And of course, a lot of it will spoil within a year, because leeks and peas don't last very long. Another iron mine. Clay. The further out to the edges of the map you go, the more likely you are to run into raider camps, so you got to be really careful exploring, especially when you're near map edge, because you're almost guaranteed to run into a raider camp. And if any one of my hunters walked into a raider camp, they'd be dead within seconds. There'd be almost no fixing that situation. Alright, there is another salvage site, and it looks unguarded. Coal. Oop, hello, wolf. There's probably, as a result, a wolf den. Yep, there is. And while we're here, might as well clear that out. Looks like Rachala ran out of arrows. So I'm going to have them return back to their hunting camps and give them a break because they're out of munitions. Sidarius, how many more arrows do you have? You got 14? Alright, I'll have Sidarius do a little bit more exploration here. But I don't see any herbs yet. A deep iron mine, and that's really close to the regular iron mine, so that's very convenient. Once I have deep resource exploitation, we'll be able to set up a deep mine. It's the only thing I don't have. Oh no, deep coal and deep iron. Oh wow, that is really fortuitous. Deep sand. I might need to give up on finding herbs for soap. And I know if I go further west, it's going to be raider hell. So this is as far as I'm going to go. Just to make sure I didn't miss anything, selecting the forager shack and just like panning is a really good way to find stuff. And I'm looking at the purple herbs in the top right to see if they if I find anything, because this is probably the easiest way to do it. But I don't think I've spotted any herbs anywhere yet. No, there's just no herbs. Okay, that's rotten luck. We'll try to clear out these boars and search that way, or maybe search southeast because that's closest. But yeah, I might be out of luck. We might have to import all of it, which is a rough way to live. So with the influx of food from our farms, I'm expanding the housing. So we've already filled 3 slots, and we'll just keep growing our population so that we have a bigger labor pool to be able to expand our village out more. And the clay pit has all of its materials delivered, it just hasn't actually been built yet. It's getting built now. Are you, what job
Need
are
anything?
you? Forger. Builder. I'm looking for another laborer that could go...
Aye.
Here we go, here's a laborer. So you go here. Now that we have a clay pit, it's employing 2 people, and what I want to do is put a stockyard around here so that the clay pit can deliver to the stockyard rather than have to ship all of its stuff over to this stockyard. And once we have high need of a lot of clay being moved around, I can employ like a wagon shop to move it around for me, but I'm not too worried about that. So I'll just put my brickworks out near the clay pit. So with that income of clay, once our clay is at, I think, 60? No, 30. Once the clay is at 30, I'll re-enable the school to be built. And that way we can start educating our populace. So I think I got fairly lucky with iron, clay, sand, and coal, but quite unlucky for herbs. I haven't found any nodes of herbs yet, which is probably not a problem most of you, if you play this game, will have, because herbs aren't usually, in my experience, the strategic resource you just straight up lack. It's usually one of the minables that you'll not have access to. Now, coal is solvable in a different way. You can always have charcoal kilns and just make coal out of firewood. So if you're missing any of the mineable resources, turn back. Coal is not a big deal because you can just firewood it. It's more labor intensive to do it that way, but it's very renewable as a result. So you can see that we, because of the creation of the farm fields, quickly ramped up food production over last year. And then the other thing is this farm field now is all set up, established. So it needs its cabbage. The cabbage cycle for year 3.
Hello there.
All right, you are another laborer. Let's check south. At this point, even if I found herbs all this way out, I don't know if it would make a heck of a lot of sense to harvest it given the distances. But it might just be cheaper to mass produce something that we have access to and then to buy what we need. I'll probably likely go that route because of the way my map got, my map seed is. But the thing is, as your there's another salvage site. As your population grows, if you don't start supplying soaps, you'll succumb a lot more frequently to diseases. So that's one of the reasons why to invest into soaps. So once this stockyard is built, I will start to I'll build a soap making facility. My lord. There really isn't herbs anywhere. Oh, we got raiders. Alright, I don't have a militia. I don't have a fighting force. My best fighting force are going to be my archers. They're coming from the southwest. So they're going to pass through this section of residences first before getting to my town hall, which is kind of unfortunate because if they were coming from the northwest, they would hit my town hall first, and that is a defensive point. So I'll have to adjust my strategy accordingly. Knowledge. I could get grains, although I'm not really ready to plant grains. So I might go for Market Square. Yeah. So what I'm going to be doing here is like a militia rally of my civilians to fight them off. Probably will involve some loss, but I'll have my 2 archers and all of my people just sort of grouped up, where the archers will focus fire and the villagers will just tank. Villagers just died to cholera. So it's not a big group here, and what they're aiming to do is they're aiming to steal from me. So if I can kill them quickly, you know, we can keep them from making off with our loot. Oh, and I just salvaged more goods. So salvaged a whole bunch more stuff. And one of which is another knowledge point. I'll decide to put that knowledge point in a minute. Alright, so here is my archers. And this is talking about, like, combat controls. Here's my archers focus firing on their warrior, which is one of their best fighters. And then all of my villagers just mobbing them. So the warrior is fleeing. We'll go for the thief next. The brawler that I was after is getting killed. So I'm going to have most of my people go after the other brawler, while my rangers are fighting the thief. So we lost 1 villager. Mina, I think. Okay, technically she was not lost during the raid, because I had beaten the raid, but she is fatally wounded here, so she is going to die. But we defended a raid size of 5, killed 4 of them, drove 1 away. They pillaged nothing, they destroyed nothing, and there is a bug in the playtest where the villages being raided icon like doesn't go away within a reasonable period of time. If I had a healer's house, I could rescue this villager. The problem is the healer's house requires 25 gold upkeep, and I only make 9, so I can't afford it. So it's unfortunate, but there's really no way to save Mina. The research point that I got. I am not sure I care to invest it at the moment. Yeah,
yes.
Walk it off. Oh, she was our poop collector too. Well, a crappy job means a crappy end.
Work to be done?
Let's stop putting honey and stuff in the storage cart. Yeah, the healer's hut is insanely expensive compared to other things. Exactly, and that's why I don't rush towards it. It is a pitfall of new colonies to build that healer's hut and then just to bankrupt themselves, which is just not a way to play. All right, how am I doing on my priorities? So we have the clay pit. We don't yet have the sand pit. I've been looking for things to potentially export to traders, but we just don't have a lot of like clothing or shoes mass produced. Those are 2 things that we could consider for export. I did want the sand pit so that I could, and the reason for the sand pit is mostly so that I can adjust the sand within the new farm fields once I get grains. So I guess with this this point, I will unlock grains, but I'm not ready to start planting grain fields just yet. But at least I have the option to. I would say we, more than anything else, might need more hunters for pelts. So there's a bunch of game here. Maybe if I put a hunting cabin. This hunting cabin is not that close to the rest of civilization, but there's a lot of deer in here for us to hunt. So it's actually the root cellar's not that far away. It's not any further than it is up here. So that's my next investment. And we've got about half of the clay we need for the school. And as we build these houses, our population will start to go up. But yep, there was a first raid. And, you know, we just need to bury Mina. I guess it's better to die in defense of your home than it would be for, like, cholera or dysentery or something like that. Also, all of the fences for the farm are done, and the apiaries are done. So the apiaries are collecting honey and wax. I had also mentioned wanting to get a soap shop. So I'll build a soap shop here, knowing that I don't produce my own herbs, which is a bit of an issue, but I'll do it anyway so that we can start making some soaps, because buying soaps is going to be a lot more expensive than buying herbs instead. 9 immigrants? Sure, accepted. So we have a little bit of a housing shortage, but all of these new people are going to be laborers, and these laborers are going to allow me to cut down trees and build the required homes more quickly. We just lost 635 crops to drought. Not much I can do about that. Oh, and here's a good example. So this is leek blight. And it spreads 8% within 100 meters. The infestation is 14%, and it will drop over time. So basically, the next time I plant leeks is like almost a full year from now. So because of the crop rotation I've got going on, the chance that this leek blight will stick around is very, very low. Basically, it won't. It will go away well before the next time I plant leeks, so it's really not a problem. Okay, so we've fixed the housing shortage. I do intend to build more houses, and now we have a nice labor pool, which should help with the logs that we lack. I'm queuing up more trees to be cut so that we can fill up our wood planks and firewood before the winter comes. Are those hunting camps? No, not done yet. And all these extra laborers will also grab the stuff that we got from the salvage sites, and we can sell some of that stuff for trade. I think the next thing that I'm going to invest in is forestry. So I'm going to get silviculture for tree regrowth rate. And this will also allow me to start to make fruit tree arborists. Once I have the clay that I need for the school site, my next project will be to get some fruit tree groves. So priorities right now is build school and then fruit groves. And the fruit groves are just going to be yet another way to diversify my food source so that, individual crisis events like droughts and crop diseases are mitigated better. And even though we had crop loss due to drought, it looks like the yield of cabbages and leeks are still going to be solid enough that our food stores are probably, I'm going to guess, go up to like 12 to 15 or so months. Maybe a little less because we've had a recent population boom. How's my hunters? Are they free to explore a bit?
Hello.
Fedrak, you're up. I'm sending you to explore. So the road infrastructure needed for the mines are all done. We're still delivering stuff for the sand mines and the stockyard. But everything I need up here is it's on its way. And the clay needed for the school site is being mined up or dug up, I guess. And we're almost done supplying the clay, so it's just a matter of supplying the wood planks, which is bottlenecked on our tree cutters. Taking a look at the resources, we do have some spare hide coats. We have some linen clothes. These linen clothes were not locally made; they were sourced from the salvage sites. But we have shoes. We've got good bows. We've got arrows. So our usable items look pretty good. Our food is, I don't know. Okay, we're not done with the leek harvest, so our food should be fine for the winter, despite the fact that we had a major drought. And that drought was pretty bad. And the stockyard up here, I'm going to say only stock clay and sand and nothing else. So the clay and sand are because we have clay and sand pits here, but nothing else because I don't want anything. I don't want to stock like firewood up there because no one uses firewood. Well, actually, that's not true. There might be some production facilities around here that will use firewood, but if that becomes the case, I'll change the priority. I'm going to do a quick save and load so that the raid icon goes away because it's a little deceptive. It's like telling me that I'm about to get raided, but that's just simply not true. We are pretty safe in the scheme of things. So there's only a few bugs I've noticed in the playtests. Sometimes farm crop scheduling gets a little buggy, where you try to click on crops and you can't like remove them from the cycle. And then of course like the raid indicators don't go away. But apart from those two, which aren't all that major, I haven't seen a lot of other bugs, which is good. Oh, yeah, the laborer I sent down here, I forgot about. So he just, like, turned around and stopped exploring. Whoops.
What is it?
Oh, and he then became a hunter. Well,
Aye.
you got promoted.
Aye.
Okay, Valina, you are going to be my explorer for the moment. So the school has all the clay and a third of the wood planks, a little bit more than a third of the wood planks. So the rest of the clay, as I mentioned, is going to be invested in an arborist. So the arborist plants fruit trees, and the fertility of the fruit trees is a lot more flexible than the plant crops. So this is the fertility for plant crops, and this is the fertility for fruit trees. So this whole swath here is good for fruit trees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a small road. Yeah, maybe not even. I'm just going to put my arborists here. That'll be the first one. But I'm going to hold off on that until the school's done being built. And the plan is to turn this area into fruit tree groves for pear, peach, and apple. Oh, you know what I don't need? Anyone working in the trader. Also, probably don't need 2 people making soaps. In fact, I don't need any making soaps because I don't have any herbs. I failed to notice that we had built the soap shop, and the people working in the soap shop literally can't even do anything because we don't have herbs. Okay, I keep forgetting the labor I send out.
Need something?
Probably not the right season to send them out, though. It's too cold. They're gonna become sick due to the winter temperatures. So I'm not gonna bother issuing any exploration orders midwinter. That's just reckless. The quest that I had up here telling me to build a school kind of went away, but there's still a benefit. So the real benefit of educated workforce, some jobs, if we hit P, any of these jobs that have these green scrolls have a education requirement. So if you want to be a scholar, a teacher, a guildmaster, a healer, a librarian, a bookbinder, these require some sort of level of education. But then the other benefit of the school, and I think it says that when you mouse over here. The other benefit of a school is educated workforce boost work rate for villagers. So all of the children, and even some of the adults, will go through education, and you just get like a baseline work speed boost. So the school, once built, doesn't require an upkeep, which is really nice, and it just gives you a big old bonus. So there's really no reason to neglect that, in my opinion. So trying to get to school pretty early on for that boost is smart. Alright, none of my farm fields. Yeah, they all looking pretty good. Start of a new year. Food's looking okay. I'm not too worried. 8 months is not bad. And we're getting some new houses. Getting people moving in. You're surprised it doesn't require an upkeep? Yeah, me too. It's fortunate that it doesn't. Alright, another trader post. Let's see. Again, there's really nothing I want to buy or sell. This hurts to do, but I'm actually going to sell all of my linen clothing, or almost all my linen clothing, because it's not an absolute necessity for people to have linen clothing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the herbs that he has to be able to get soap. I'm not going to set a production limit for soap. Because we can honestly use as much soap as we can get. And the other linen clothing that we have... There was a bunch of salvage sites out and around where we'll be able to salvage more clothing from these sites. So even though I'm not necessarily producing linen clothing just yet, I'm sure we'll get some. Right, so if I take a look, herbs is now in the positive. And that allows us to make soap with it. So soap is 5 tallow, 1 herb, makes 5 soap. And soap helps to reduce disease considerably. And that will say it here in the soap maker, wherever it is. Soap shop. Renders tallow and herbs into a soap that villagers use to keep clean and prevent the spread of disease. And that is a much more affordable way to keep people healthy than the healer's hut, which costs 25 gold per month, which is just crushing early game. Alright, our labor pool bounced back a little bit, which means having more wood available from tree cutting. Do I not? I just realized I don't think I have a well at the top of the hill. Let's pop one in. There was a well close enough, but I'd like one even closer. Alright, this harvest is going without being harassed, which is good. So we're going to replenish our greens, our vegetables. And now with all 3 fields done, that means we have 3 cycles of harvested vegetables per year. I'm gonna sell all of my raw ores to Otka of the Iron Clan because, like, I don't have a means to process it just yet. So it's not like I really need to hold on to like iron or gold ore. Turning them into ingots obviously would make more money, but I don't have a foundry up either. So I might as well make the money I can and then use the money that I make to potentially buy more herbs. And she's paying big. She's paying much higher than market prices for both the iron and the gold, so there's a lot of opportunity to be made there. Oh, I didn't. Okay, so the hunters finally got built, the hunter huts, but I never adjusted their hunting zones. So let's adjust that. They've had... The game will throw errors if there's nothing to hunt within the region, and it will tell you to, like, reposition the work zone. So it wasn't that they weren't working. It's just that they could be working more efficiently if I designated the right zones. Come on, move the iron.
Hello,
Forrest,
there.
what are you even doing? Move it. I'm watching you. So the school has 6 more planks to be supplied, and then this... Oh, there is a bear. Okay. Both of my hunters are getting activated. Bears are not easy to kill, but as long as you have multiple people shooting at them...
Aye.
Oh, great. Rachala ran out of... At least she has a sword. Actually, I take it back. She is armed. Ah, there we go. Bears can be pretty tricky to take down until you have actual soldiers, but luckily they were in the right place at the right time. Oh, unfortunately, the guy selling herbs has left. Frickin' Horus took so long to stock the warehouse that the other dude The other trader left. Thanks, Horace. So useful. Well, you're fired anyway. Thank you for tuning in to Farthest Frontier 1.0, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode for an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow frontiersmen.